Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I am back with another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 cast. This cast is also going to be from the Alima League. You guys really enjoyed that last cast I did, Gumiho versus Rogue, so I thought, right, clearly I haven't been doing enough Korean Starcraft 2 on my channel, and I think that is certainly true. So here we are. We've got another two fantastic players here. Two players I'm very excited to watch. Spawning down in the bottom right-hand side of the map, playing for Bravestar Gaming, and recently, I'm talking recently in StarCraft 2 terms, return to pro gaming. It is Dream, the Terran player. Those of you that have followed StarCraft 2 for a while now might be like, Dream, where do I recognize that name? Well, for starters, he's playing at a high level recently again, but in the past, he came second in like 2 SSLs in a row, I want to say. Or maybe it was a GSL and an SSL. Anyway, Dream, one of the very high level former like Kespa Terrans, so very notorious just for like his raw skill level back in the day and his ability to grind. Now his opponent, no slouch either, spawning up in the top left-hand side of the map, it's Creator for Team Jin Air. Now Creator, he's one of the players on the last remaining like true Korean esports team in a sense, Jin Air Green Wings, which is just a team full of champions, and Creator, I definitely think some of that skill is partly his doing and then just also partially rubs off on him, so he's a very great player to watch. He's one of the Protoss players who has a very good mindset when it comes to playing the game. Like, I'm gonna straight up say it, like, there are certain ways that can make Protoss look abusive in a sense, and he's a player who, when he's looking good, is an expert at doing that. And we'll see if he's going to be able to make that happen versus Dream. But of course, Dream is on a very high level once again. So far, we've got Creator. He's had his probe sharking about, looking for this SCV, trying to be a pain. But Dream opened up with a Marine first. And if you skip the Reaper and go into a Marine first as a Terran, basically what that means is that you're going to be able to catch that probe easily, which is quite nice. Now, if you're not able to catch that probe, it can also hurt you a little bit here, as this Adept is crossing the map, and this probe has softened up this SCV, although I don't think this Adept is going to get there in time to cancel that. This Marine's he's got to run for his life. I think that Decoy's going to have to raise. Yeah, that Marine actually takes a shot, which is somewhat painful for Dream here. He's going to have 2 more Marines pop on out. He should be able to shut down this Adept, but he loses a Marine. So at least Creator getting something there for his efforts. The Adept will be sent packing though. Oh, and another Adept coming on in. Oh, this could be troublesome for Dream. If you're Dream right now, he's hightailing it out of here. He's running for his life here. Oh, those 2 Adepts. Oh no, though they actually managed to shade into the main base of the Terran, but Creator decides to cancel the shade there. A bit of an interesting choice, and so far it seems to be working out either way for him. One of his Adepts is rather bruised on up here and has to be microed back, but he's doing a great job just microing versus this low Marine count for Creator, or for Dream, pardon me. And when I say low Marine count, I mean no Marine count, because so far 5 of them have been killed off for absolutely no losses other than a bit of HP and shields for these Adepts. So Creator doing that perfect play with the Adepts so far. Of course, he's got to be careful because unupgraded Adepts aren't actually too amazing, but oh, look at this. These Marines could be in a bit of trouble. They're running to the high point here. One of those mines is going to connect there on that Adept. These Marines are now engaging the Oracle, but this is problematic for Dream right now. He's running with these SCVs. Creator is really piling on the hurts of the Terran player. Dodges that Widow Mine there, and this is already so much damage getting done here by the Protoss player. Dream's got a Medivac out now, so he should be able to shut this attack down, but this was just the light Protoss pressure, and the damage it got done was absolutely huge from the Protoss player. Just beautifully done from Creator, just playing at a nice level, doing exactly what you need to do. And yeah, very nicely done there. We take a look at this game here, moving on. We've got a Twilight Council and a Forge. I mean, I feel like usually I've got a minute or two to ramble on in a game of StarCraft 2 before things really get heated on up. Not this one. I mean, Creator, just with his initial Adept poke across the map, making things kind of problematic for Dream, and suddenly, I mean, we take a look, he lost 6 SCVs there and 9 Marines. That is actually massive damage getting done to the Terran. Of course, one of the ways you can definitely bring that back is the Terran is a bit of a fatty Widowmine drop. So we'll see if this is able to get the connections that it needs. Dream's following this up with a third command center just to try and make some economic play happen. But look at this. This drop has been spotted. We'll see if Creator reacts. Mine's going to drop him, and he sees this. So yes, he is going to react. These two mines, we'll see what connections they're able to get. One hits the probe there. Does anything else get hit? Oh, it doesn't even get the probe. That's just an insult to injury. A Widow Mine that shot goes into the simulator. Really painful there for the Terran, getting absolutely nothing, getting that drop shut down, and taking so much early damage. I can say, this is a world of trouble for Dream. He's thrown up his third command center, but, I mean, it's already late compared to the third of the Protoss. This is a very, very nice opening for Creator right now. If I'm Dream, I'm sweating, that's for sure. Take a look here, this SCV, oh, it does get lifted up here by these Phoenix. Vikings are in position to try and send these Phoenix packing with their high range. The Vikings can actually make that happen, just to shoo away the Phoenix. But at this point, it's kind of trivial at this point. Whatever Creator gets, I mean, as long as he doesn't, like, lose everything that he's got in the sky, he's in a pretty good spot already. 58 probes to 40 SCVs, and these Phoenix even getting a few kills. Really hurts us the Terran. Look at that, just 4 more going down. Phoenix are super, super tanky, so it's actually pretty hard to lose one of them unless you make a pretty big micro mistake as the Protoss. Now we do take a look, though. I mean, Dream, he is working on a siege tank count. He's getting his 1-1 upgrades on the way, so he's potentially going to have an upgrade lead coming his way. He's got that stim, combat shield, making some medibacks now, so it's not all hopeless for the Terran, but this is not a comfortable spot at all. Protoss player on this side of the map, quite happy with the way things are going up. Getting up a Templar Archives, a Warp Prism. He's already got charge out. I do like the choice for Dream to go for a wall from this position. As, I mean, the wall is going to be very, very helpful for him. If one Marine runs into that stasis, and when I talk about the wall, that's because Zealots are very, very good, ladies and gentlemen. Until we get the current patch, like, Zealots are just ridiculously good at breaking things. And, oh man, this could actually just be disastrous for Creator. I mean, for Dream, pardon me, not for Creator. This is looking like a very nasty attack. These Protoss, they just know that Zealots are really good units at this point. I mean, the patch hasn't gone through, which they get nerfed, and suddenly we're going to be seeing Creator come on in with an attack. There is no stim pack for the Terran right now. There's no combat shield. His 1-1 is about to finish up. This attack is coming in before that, and these are stimless Marines versus Zealots that have charge, Zealots that have +1, and the losses for Dream are already just disastrous. Yeah, he's going to tap on out. GG gets called, and Dream folds like a sack of potatoes. So we've got game number 1 going the way of Creator in this best of 3, and we'll see if Dream's able to bring it back in this one. Either way, loving this series. 2 high-level players. It's just great to see how a little bit of finesse in Starcraft 2, like the way Creator opened up, can just pay off dividends and win you the game. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed that rather quick first match, make sure to press that like button, as I'm trying to hit 20 likes on every video. If you can help me do that, that would be appreciated. Basically, yeah, just press that like button. There's going to be at least one more match, or at least this match, on the way, unless Creator wins it, because he's already got 1 on the board. But yeah, also, if you're new to the channel, press that subscribe button, as I'm trying to put out these commentaries every single day. I came home after Turkey Day here in Canada, and I thought, right, I got to cast a video just to make sure that I get one out here. We take a look at the build coming out of Dream. He's gone for just what looks like is going to be a proxy single barracks followed up by a gas, so just a single barracks proxy. Creator, on the other hand, is moving out on the map. Oh, he's going to be going for his own proxy, so we've got proxy versus proxy scenario, and I'm going to be honest, I have no idea how this one plays on out here. I feel like this is a scenario we should have run into before, because, let's face it, proxy barracks for Terrans are pretty common, and so that kind of increases the likelihood of this build coming out. So we see, I mean, Creator going for the Korean variant of the proxy. Personally, I'm a big fan of the Max Packs build. Koreans don't seem to do that a lot. They do enjoy just going for their 1 gateway at home, 1 out on the map. It's much more committed, in a sense, and less economic. We'll see what Creator's going to follow it up with, though. Reaper on the way here for Dream. Of course, the Protoss knows about this. He's making a Zealot back at home because his Cyber Core is a little bit late, I feel, and the fact that this Reaper's so early. It's going to be able to start working away on some probes before a Stalker or Adept is out to shut that down. We'll see how well Dream's going to micro versus this. He's got an SCV battling it out with a probe. He's probably going to have to send another one down. He starts up his factory. I'm not sure if Dream's going to know that anything is amiss at this point in the game, though. I mean, he sees that there's no expo for the Protoss just yet. That could be him just being like, okay, the Protoss is reacting to my proxy. And oh, what is this? The Reaper is actually heading on home here for Dream. I'm not sure what this is about. Maybe just looking for probes, I suppose. A bunker is on the way up for Dream, and oh, look at this. This probe actually kills the SCV, so a nice trade-off there. I mean, the probe is probably going to die anyway, so killing one of your opponent's workers is nice. Just for the tilt factor alone, I feel, as the Protoss player. Reaper grenade gets tossed on down. This Reaper going to retreat to the high ground. There is a bunker, though, for the Terran. And we actually see an eBay block going down for Dream. He cancels that, but oh, the probe gets picked off by the second Reaper of Dream. So a lot going on all sides of the map at this point in the game so far. I mean, we've got Dream. He's kind of just locked into his base, into his one base, but then the Protoss had his base delayed because he went for the cheese, and Dream is just trying to hold on and survive. He's just like, just panicking a little bit, just trying to make sure that everything is going to be alright. As a result, he's going to be heading towards what I can assume is a safety cyclone here. And at this point in the game, I honestly wouldn't mind like Bagfield Accelerator if you can afford it as the Terran. Dream is going to invest in another barracks though, which also a very valid option, as you want to get up that bioproduction as soon as you can. So, I mean, we take a look here. Expo timing, pretty similar for each player. That generally favors the Terran, but the Terrans is going to have to float on over a little bit. Worker count, though, pretty good for the Terran as well. And the Protoss just getting into a Twilight Council. So, everything considered, I mean, we take a look here, and the Protoss is not going to be able to break this location. Bunkers are basically infinitely strong. Your opponent has to be asleep at the wheel and not repair for you to be able to break a bunker as a Protoss. Reaper's moving forward for Dream. Cyclone locks on. Grenades getting tossed on down. A little bit of playing with fire there from the Protoss, or from the Terran, just trying to get whatever he can. Bully these Stalkers back. But you can't blame him for doing that micro as long as he doesn't lose one of those units. And so far he's doing a good job of that. I mean, yeah, like, I feel this is a pretty good spot here for Dream. He's doing a cute job microing these Reapers versus Stalkers on the low ground. Meanwhile, we've got a Blink, or not a Blink coming out of the Protoss player. Gonna be going for that as his deck of choice. But yeah, I mean, when all the cards are counted in this game so far, I think the reason why Creator is arguably behind at this stage in the game, as long as Dream can secure his natural base pretty soon here, which with his siege tank he will be able to, but as long as Dream's able to secure this pretty soon, the reason why the Protoss is behind in this game is simply because he went for the proxy gateway on the other side of the map. I'm actually curious. I'm gonna ask this every time I see a Protoss play versus a Terran, and it's usually a Korean Protoss, by the way. They never max packs, it would seem. But oh, look at this. Reaper's coming across the map for Dream, looking for a bit of aggression there, but not able to actually nab up a probe, I don't think. Maybe they got one. Meanwhile, the Protoss player wanting to push on in towards the natural of the Terran. Dream, he's got some more Marines out. He's got a Cyclone and a tank. He's going to re-secure his low ground, I feel. And I don't think the Protoss is going to be able to do a whole heck of a lot versus that. The siege tank will repel the Protoss. A few Stalkers going down. And yeah, oh, look at this. The Reaper grenades getting tossed to bounce to the Stalkers. I mean, it's a bit of a risky micro situation on both sides. But I think that definitely goes Dream's way as he is able to clear the standing Protoss army. And yeah, this has just been a pretty big commitment from Creator to the aggression all around. And I don't know what he's going to be able to do. Well, the option seems to be that he's going to go for a big old classic 4-gate versus the Terran. But with the new stim timings for the Terran, with the fact that Dream has gone into 3 racks, he's going to have a good amount of bio. He's got a tank on the high ground. He's got bio waiting on the high ground. I don't know what the Protoss is going to be able to do here, mainly because there's no vision for the high ground for the Protoss. If the Protoss player in this game had, say, if the Protoss had, say, like, an observer or something, I feel like he'd be fine. But there's a bunker, there's 2 tanks, there's a good chunk of bio here out to the Terran. That bunker's going to be getting repaired. The Stalkers blink over top. They're trying to focus down the tanks. They get both of them, but they are on blink cooldown. And look at that. Creator just taps on out. And, I mean, he saw the Terran had stim, and he's like, oh, well, those Stalkers are toast, and they were. And he'd only have 3 there. I mean, I feel like you maybe could have given it a good old college try and played out as Creator. The Terran was on 3 racks, like you chrono boost out stim. You warp in some more Stalkers. He had 600 minerals to point out. Then maybe you can make something happen if But I guess he just figured, he's like, yep, it's over. Into the next one. This is a Korean Online Cup. So, or at least what this replay is from. And those games, they're generally pretty quick. That's why if they were like a best of one, I probably wouldn't be able to cast any. It would be the shortest video ever. But fortunately, these are best of threes, so a few best of threes makes for a very nice game. And I'm going to be honest, ladies and gentlemen, before casting this video, I actually heard, or I actually saw that game number 3 was a little bananas in this series. That's right, I said bananas, B-A-N-A-N-S. And so make sure to press that like button, because I think this next game is going to be a good one. And let's try and break 20 likes on this video. Of course, if you're new to the channel, press that subscribe button. Yeah, let's just see where this one's going to go. Pylon on the way here for the Protoss player. That's no surprise. Supply depot for the Terran, so we take a look at that. Note, it takes 21 seconds for a supply depot for a Terran to build, whereas a Protoss it takes 18 seconds. And Overlord it takes 18 seconds. If you check Nathanias' Twitter, there's probably like 3 complaints about that or something. And that's just the way it goes. Life's not necessarily fair sometimes. But yeah, great. Just a great example of where TvP is at for those previous matches that we've seen. And we'll see if this next one's going to be like that. I did hear that it's going to be a good one, so I'm just going to sit back and enjoy the show. Of course, talk a little bit. Otherwise, this would be the most silent video ever. But yeah, let's see how this is going to play on out. Probe moving on in for Creator, just scouting out. The map is World of Sleepers in this best of 3. We'll see how Dream's going to be able to repel this Protoss. Probe being a pain. Just looking to try and block that command center. If you're the Terran, you send down 2 SCVs. You're like, right, this probe's... Let's face it, this probe's going to be a dick. I'm just going to straight up say it. Probe gets picked off, though. So, well, he was trying to be one of those things. It really hurt him. It really hurt him. And I mean, okay, let's be honest here. I don't usually like to curse or anything or use derogatives in my videos, just because I feel like it's a commentary, so we try and keep it professional. But like, I think if you ask most players, most viewers, a Protoss who comes in and harasses with his early probe, you're probably like, wow, that guy, that probe right there, he's a real meanie, he's a real d-bag or whatever you want to say. And because that's actually one of the first things that happens in Starcraft 2 when you queue up as a Terran. And probably as a Protoss, it's like you unlock this new god power when you learn how to do that initial probe harassment. Because at a low level in Starcraft 2, having like just a probe come in and attack your SCV, it can just mess with you so much. You're just like, this isn't part of the plan. Why is one probe here? And it takes so much mental thought process to react to it. And I can speak to this because I know. Because I have lost many initial SCVs to probes, and it's just one of those things. You play enough, eventually you get better at dealing with it. But it's actually such a struggle bus in order to try and deal with an initial harassing probe. So far, we see Dream this game is scouting out with his Reaper, just trying to find his way into the Protoss space. No such luck. Great adept defense and positioning from Creator to shut down that scouting. And as a result, we've got an unscouted Oracle being chrono boosted out from the Protoss. However, on the Terran side of things, the flip side, we've got a Cyclone on the way, which is going to be adequate for defending versus an Oracle. And the Cyclone should be done in time. There's also Marines, which are going to be able to get inside this bunker. And this Reaper, who's running for his life like a madman, trying to avoid these Adepts. And there are 3 Adepts out for this Protoss here, which are just being a pain. They could maybe poke to the front of the Terran, but Dream's got a bunker, and bunkers are, as I said before, basically infinitely strong. Like, the scale of units that it takes to crack down a bunker in StarCraft 2, it takes a lot. If there's a repair, even if there isn't a repair, it just takes so long. You have to be you have to have a very definitive army in order to be able to kill a bunker. Now we see this Reaper jumps on in for a Dream. It's gonna go down, though. At least it gets a probe, which is nice for him. Meanwhile, the Cyclone in position in order to shut down this Oracle. The Oracle comes on in and sees there's a 3rd command center for the Terran, but the question is that a little bit too late? Creator has his own 3rd Nexus on the way, but he's not going for any aggression. If he was going for like a 4-gate or a charge, anything or whatever, he'd probably just be able to kill Dream. But if you don't open up that way, the Terran who's going to a third CC is probably going to get away with it. That's the case with most greed in StarCraft 2. Unless your opponent like identifies it right away, or has like a very good game sense, there's not a lot you can do to punish greed like this just easily. Particularly if you're a Protoss, it's like, well, I got a warp gate and a few other tech buildings going up. I mean, he had a Twilight on the way, he had a Forge on the way, but it takes a long time for that charge to finish up. And by that time, the Terran's production's online. By that time, the Terran is just going to be fine, and an attack doesn't really work. So, we're going to see Creator just have to play this out at a bit of a deficit. You open up with the third command center as the Terran. You're going to have a bit of a lead as the Terran. I mean, the Protoss still is ahead on probes, but that's natural for the matchup because of the nature of Chrono Boost and everything. The Terran, though, at a pretty adequate worker count. I mean, he's only behind 4, and nothing too major has happened this game, so that's pretty good for the Terran. I mean, the worker count very, very, or rather even as a matter of fact, which it's good for the Terran. So we take a look. Marines, Marauders, on the way. Production kicking in for Dream. Phoenix still sharking about here for the Protoss. That Oracle's going to be very useful for Creator as long as he uses it to keep tagging his opponent's unit. But, I mean, I really don't mind the spot for Dream. In a minute or two, he's going to have a very significant bio ball once you reach up to a certain amount of bio with a few medivacs and say +1 or something in combat shield, you can really take on a lot of zealots. Your opponent has to have a ton of zealots in order to really hurt you. Oh, look at this for Dream though. Oh man, he gets his Marines. He's gonna catch himself that Oracle. Nicely done there. Actually, just very, very smart play. Intercepting that Oracle by splitting off a few Marines. And that's a very important deal. Right now we see Dream. He's making a call. I heard a scan go down. He scanned. He didn't really see anything. I guess just confirming that it was a third or whatever. He made a scan go down, and he's now making the choice to go into a Ghost Academy, maybe expecting it to be High Templar or something. While in reality, Creator is going to be going for a Robo Bay. He's going to be going for an extra Robo Facility, so we could be seeing Disruptors or Colossus, which Ghosts are not a solid counter to him. I mean, Ghosts are always very good for the Terran, but not a super solid counter. But then look at this game. I mean, Creator, his production has taken time to get online and everything. He doesn't have a 4th base on the way, and he's simply just down in supply. The worker count is even, which is just considered a good thing for the Terran all around. And now, if you're Creator, you're just not in a comfortable position. He's got a Sentry, he's got a few Zealots and some Gateway he's going to be able to warp in. He's got some Phoenix to go with this army, 6 Phoenix, as he's going to be playing Colossus Phoenix. But I don't know if Creator's going to be able to hold on here. This is that Skin Terran bio, which is very, very scary. Until there's a Colossus or some AoE out for the Terran, it's going to be very tough. Or for the Protoss, I mean, it's going to be very tough to hold on until you've got out something. Either that or you really have to commit on top of this army and just accept the losses. Good lifts on the Widow Mines is really going to help the Protoss out for holding on. But look at this. There's barely any Zealots here for the Protoss. He's in a very tough spot. Meanwhile, there's counter harassment going on with Zealots on Dream's side of the map, getting a fair few kills. A Colossus is finally out. The Phoenix coming on in. They're lifting up the Marauders to remove them from the equation. And with the Colossus, it is able to work away these Marines. The Dream even Vipering back his Marines. The Colossus is being focused down, but the Phoenix, they do lift up some of the Marauders. It's so close to dying. It's almost dead. It's staying alive for now. The Dream's trying to get it, but he doesn't get it. That is actually huge for the Protoss. He's trying to unload a Marauder, and he does unload the Marauder to snipe the Colossus, and that just hurts for the Protoss. Creator working so hard to keep that alive, but in the end he does lose it. He's not dead just yet though. He's staying alive. I mean, he picked off a few medivacs, he shut down the Terran's army, and while that was going on, he did finish up a 4th base, so it's not a lost cause for Creator. He held on in what was a very scary situation. With his Zealot counter harassment, he lowered the worker count of Dream a bit, and Dream is committed in this game right now. Keep in mind, he's 3 base Terraning it. This is a very classic way for Terran to play. You don't throw up a 4th base, or as the Protoss does, you're just going to try and hammer and kill your opponent. I mean, there's a chance we could see a 4th, and there it is, coming out of Dream, but it's not a super early 4th or anything like that. The Protoss who held the attack now has time to breathe. And Creator, he's getting up extended thermal lance, getting up +3 armor, which is going to make his unit so tanky versus a Terran, by the way, who hasn't started his 2-2. So Creator is actually going to be heading towards just super tanky units here, as once you get that +3 out as the Protoss, the Terran, who's only going to have +1, is not going to be able to scratch the Zealots of his opponent, it feels like. As a matter of fact, if Dream didn't have this EMP out right now, I'd just say that the Protoss units are essentially immortal. And I'm not just talking about the immortals that are being built by Creator, like all the units just wouldn't die. So the EMP actually going to be very important for the Terran, and it does make it a bit acceptable to be behind on upgrades, because it really removes a lot of HP from your opponent's units. And let's take a look here. The Protoss player just building up an army. I mean, the supply, it's relatively close here. If there's a 20 supply lead earlier on in the game, it really spells disaster, but at this point in the game, it's not too significant. There's AoE out for the Protoss. Dream is going to have to deflect this mine drop, though, and I think he sees that it's coming, or Creator sees that it's coming. Probe split off. Oh, fantastic splits there from Creator. More mines going off at the natural. Good probe splitting, though. I mean, it's just going to kill off 1 or 2 probes. Nothing major going on this game. Great defense from Creator. The worker count very high for both players at this point in the game. Dream is getting up towards his 4th base, and he's going to be approaching max out, but in StarCraft 2, it's still considered that the Protoss player has the advantage in the late game. At a high level, Terrans can make it look very good with the EMP, with Liberators and such, but I still feel that unless the Terran is playing perfect, or playing at a very, very high level, there's always room for the Protoss to capitalize on their mass AoE with their Colossus, with their Disruptors, which have no real counter in a sense. I mean, Ravens technically, yes, but in practicality, no. We've even got Psystorm out, so this is basically going to stall Dream. He's going to have to ensure he gets EMPs before he attacks into the Protoss. That gives the Disruptors time to get good connections off. And in turn, that buys time for the Protoss, who's going to be getting up a 5th Nexus. He's going to be building up a bank, more gateways, more upgrades, more everything, more production. And that generally favors the Protoss, because eventually the Terran's army, in a sense, caps out, whereas the Protoss, it's kind of more realistic to max out and everything. I'm not sure how I feel about this move out from Creator for now. As we take a look here, Dream's army is actually just massive. It's disgusting, as a matter of fact. There are Disruptors, though, going to be looking for good connections. Great splits here from the Terran, but look at that. Great Disruptor usage from Creator, just sending one out, forces the Terran back. You cannot commit onto a Protoss army, otherwise you will just be whittled apart by massive Disruptor connections. So Dream, he has to sit back. He's securing up a 5th base. He's like, fine, I'll build a 5th, whatever, so he's going to have that done. Meanwhile, a DT into the base of Dream, and oh, look at this. This DT actually was not one-shotting SCVs. There is no +1 attack yet for the Protoss player. He's just gone so hard on the defense. Now that is acceptable though, because Psystorm and Disruption Novas do not rely on attack upgrades. As a matter of fact, their damage is just naturally high. And they don't actually benefit from upgrades at all. Psystorm's going down on this portion of the Terran army. Meanwhile, Dream, he's really starting to split things up, taking the multi-prong approach to dealing with the Protoss army. A few DTs have been warped in for a Creator. He does not have attack upgrades yet, though, so even his Colossus aren't going to help him out too much. It's really all going to be about the tanky Zealots to help him out here. He needs to warp in another round to reinforce, I feel, before this fight. The Phoenix are going to be able to lift up units, pick off medivacs, yes. But look at this. In comes Dream. He's going to be coming to go for an attack at this 4th of the Protoss. There are DTs, though. There are High Templar. Those are probably going to want to turn into an Archon. The DTs working away on the Marauders, but the scan goes down. The Cannons, the Archon, the DTs, all buying time here. But Dream still doing a good job keeping the pressure on his opponent. We're seeing an engagement go down here. Immortals, though, while they don't have attack upgrades, still slaughter Marauders. There's no doubt about that. That Medivac full of units almost gets picked off. Oh, no, Dream, he changed his course. Oh, this could actually kill these Medivacs. Oh, does he unload? Yes, he does. Nice unload there from Dream. Realizing that, both players got to be careful. Look at this. This is actually like round 2 of this fight with these units. As the Immortal, and oh no, looks like Dream is going to win round 2 there. As those units that unloaded in the medivacs had the better end of things. But look at that, a Psystorm lands, slaughters the injured units that were overstimmed there. And then Zealots and Phoenix is very good at pursuing a Terran army that isn't consolidated. So Dream down on supply all of a sudden. Creator securing up another base. We've got more Immortals on the way for Creator. He's finally got an attack upgrade. He's going to keep more upgrades going. He's moving across the map. He's got Disruptors, Colossus, Phoenix, Archons. More Disruptors coming in tow. And I don't know what Dream has to deal with this. He's making Vikings to help deal with the Colossus, but there's only like a Colossus out at the time. And so making Vikings really is a moot investment. I think you might want Liberators if you're the Terran, as a matter of fact. He's got Bio, but I don't know what he's got that's going to be able to take on this Protoss army without taking just substantial losses. As long as Creator is on point using his Disruption Novas, it's so tough to pounce on top of an army like this. A +3 army at that, with more Zealots reinforcing, as this is just so tanky for the Protoss. There's no 3-3 for the Terran yet, so these are very tanky Protoss units. Disruptors are a little bit exposed here. EMPs go down. A nice focus fire from Dream nabs one of the Disruptors, and oh, a miss rally from Creator. Oh, but he saves the Immortal. Beautiful play here from the Protoss, keeping it going. And with securing another base, I feel like this is a good spot for Creator. Dream himself is on 5 bases, but it's really reaching an exponential point here, I feel, for the Protoss. Creator's going for an attack. I feel this is a bit risky, eating a lot of EMPs. Disruption Nova's going out, though. He's attacking into a planetary, keep in mind. Disruption Nova's going out. Dream kiting back, but he is taking inevitable Disruptor hits here. The Protoss is forced to retreat, though, after eating the plethora of EMPs. Stalkers blinking back. I mean, they're not adding too much value to this Protoss army, and as a result, Creator, I feel, can't break this position. He does have to pull back, and I feel like that attack was a bit ambitious there. Dream was able to stay back. Yes, a Terran player generally doesn't want to stay back and just macro up or whatever, but a Protoss definitely doesn't want to attack into a planetary usually. So, Creator attacking in there was a bit ambitious. He's still got a lead in this game, I feel, while he's not maxed out yet. I feel just the Protoss production is pretty good. The making of Immortals is interesting. They're very good. Yes, but how good, I am not too sure. The DT can't even one-hit a Marine. He's got to get the +3 attack. Alright, we take a look. Another Ghost Academy going up for Dream, interestingly enough. We could start to see some nukes come out. Creator thinking of going, well, Creator gonna have to build like an anti-missile system, as nukes are gonna be flying his way pretty soon here. Unfortunately for Protoss, there is no such thing, so Dream just starting to bully his opponent a little bit here. He's finally turning the tide of things once more. Creator, who went for a big attack, is now on the defensive at this point in the game, and Dream is doing a good job splitting up his army. We see Ghost coming forward. A Side Storm lands on the Bio, though, forcing them back. There's another one there. There's cannons, there's shield batteries, Zealots. That's the nice thing. If a Protoss plays well and make sure to literally cover their bases, it can be tough for a Terran to get multi-pronged harassment off. That being said, though, this is a very significant army for the Terran. An EMP goes down, but it doesn't hit the High Templar, so a Storm does land. And Creator able to try and push the file back for now, though. I mean, this attack is looking a little bit scared, but more High Templars coming forward, more Side Storm landing, more and more Zealots being warped in for the Protoss. This is looking like okay trades, though, for the Terran, but look at that. Zealots spilling forward. Gonna try and close this, but no, yeah, it actually is too much here. Part of the Protoss army has to recall to deal with this, and oh, this is looking kind of concerning. All of a sudden, the Colossus is gone. There's only one Disruptor in this army. The Terran is realizing that he can take this fight. EMP after EMP. High Templar come forward, gonna be trying to land storms on this army. EMPs are connecting. The Protoss is able to force the Terran back for now on both fronts, it would seem, but that was looking a little bit dicey. Nicely done for Dream. I mean, it's always a tough call to make on how many units to keep at home for the defense, but Creator definitely didn't have enough at this base, and that kind of forced a dicey situation. He's warping in more Zealots here because he knows Dream's going to be trying to attack it again, but Dream's actually going to be attacking with his full army right now, and Creator's army down here is not here to help out, so Dream getting I'm going to say it, a Dream engagement here, as he's fighting versus half the Protoss army, and if you're the Protoss, you want to be fighting with all of your army. Meanwhile, a nuke goes off of this base. This Ghost just securing himself. Only 3 kills. The probes ran away. Bit anticlimactic there. But suddenly, in come these Zealots now. Going to be looking to pursue back this army of Dream. Dream's army, very high value at this point, with so many Ghosts in the mix, but you got to be careful because Ghosts, not super tanky, but yeah, look at this. The army value actually really up here for the Terran. He's up in supply, he's up in army value, but oh my god, that Disruptor hit killed so many Ghosts. That army value went down a little bit there, as we take a look and see that that was a fair few dead Ghosts. Currently 22 have died this game, and what a close TvP here this game, really showing late game TvP from Dream. But it's important to note, Dream is not just sitting back this game. He's pushing the Protoss all over the place, trying to create wedges in the Protoss that he can exploit here. He's even bringing nukes into the mix right now. An Observer is going to help these units, though, chase down these Ghosts. Stalker blinks forward. Oh, does this Ghost get away? Oh, look at this Ghost. So quick. They do get picked off, though. So, Dream gonna have to call in another nuke at some point. But yeah, look at this. I mean, this is pretty good for the Protoss. They still want to save it. Oh man, big nuke command there. Some of his army eats a lot of EMP. Meanwhile, a nuke getting queued up on this base. That gets shut down. A nuke on another base here. Where was that? I guess that got shut down too. So a bit of a tough go at it for Dream. Throwing a lot of resources into these nukes that haven't quite connected. Archon's getting morphed there to try and shut down this drop, but so far, a nice drop. A recall has to be used for the Protoss, but of course, that very powerful tool does send the Terran packing. Yet another nuke being called on, or attempted to be called on in, but, I mean, Creator doing a very good job of shutting down these nukes. Static defense like Cam is generally why Terran doesn't usually nuke a Protoss. Disruptors being used to try and shut down this army. I mean, resources lost. Creator is behind this game, though, so the Terran actually playing more efficient with his better Ghost army. We see Massey and P going down. Disruptor Nova's going out. This could be a bit concerning for the Protoss. Creator has been fighting with just portions of his army for the majority of this game, and that's why Dream has been taking good trades, good fights. High Templar going to be unloading in this prison. Special delivery there. Psystorm's just being dropped all over these Ghosts and other units, but look at that. A nuke goes down there. I'm not sure how many dead probes that is, but Creator down to 56 all of a sudden. His army supply is okay, but his unit composition really isn't compared to the Terran. We take a look. Higher army value for the Terran. That's not something you see every day. Dream's willingness just to build a ton of Ghosts with his strong economy is really impressive. Creator hasn't been able to counterattack or anything like that to get significant damage done. Dream's been the one that's been attacking non-stop, keeping the pressure on his opponent. He's just been trading out, picking off those disruptors, scanning. His Ghosts have been EMPing the army, allowing the Terran player to take good fights. Stalker's playing forward on top of this. Creator is really pushing after this drop, and I understand that he wants to take a nice fight versus the Terran to reset the clock in this game in a sense, to really buy himself a bit of breathing room. But of course, while he takes one victory, Dream is attacking to the north. He picks off one of the Protoss' base, and suddenly that bank the Protoss had, it is no longer there. There's even a Ghost in the main base of the Protoss. Ouch. I wonder if that guy has been nuking at all. So far, no kills yet. But still causing trouble for the Protoss. And look at this, Creator has had enough. He's actually pushing in a little bit too far, I feel. There's a Planetary doing a great job sniping off the Medivac, showing his Stalkers still have value, but I don't know how much further he's going to take this. And we've got a Terran player who's moving in with Bio towards this Nexus, the Protoss. He's going for an attack and he's getting some value. Maybe he can get on top of the Terran production and force some sort of pseudo base trade, but he's really got to make something happen here, as the economy of Dream is really just far ahead of Creator's at this point. Creator has this one base mining, but a single Ghost is going to force him off his one mining base here. There's actually really no mining for Creator, and as he tries to push up this ramp, I don't know if it's going to happen. He's being surrounded from multiple angles. Disruptor's not able to get amazing connections. Maybe there's a good connection, but I don't know if it's enough at this point. Vikings even landing, Immortals going down. Yeah, I think the Terran player has done it. The economy for the Protoss is non-existent, and once again, a random portion of Creator's units out on the map gets cleaned up. Just well done for Dream there, picking Creator apart and showing us that late game TvP can be done. I still feel like Creator made a few mistakes that game, not fighting with ideal army portions, and Dream doing a good job realizing it's yeah, you got Psystorm and Disruptors, but I'll play around that by hitting you in with odd amounts of army. The thing is, Creator didn't really know how many units to leave at a place, and Dream took good fights with larger portions of army versus smaller portions of army, and Creator was just trying to put out the fires that Dream kept lighting. And in the end, Dream was able to take it in a fantastic TvP. So ladies and gentlemen, on the note of me saying fantastic once more, which I do a lot while casting, make sure to press that like button if you enjoyed this video. Let's try and break 20 likes on this video if we can make that happen. That would be fantastic. And of course, if you enjoy this commentary, make sure to leave a subscription as well, as you'll get notified whenever I put up new videos. And also, one more thing. Two more things. I got a Discord. Check that out in the description. And this is just the sellout at the end of the video. You guys know this drill at this point. But yeah, check out that Discord. And also, feel free to press that bell icon on YouTube. You guys might have just been watching YouTube a few years ago. This random bell icon popped up. You're like, what does that do? Well, it actually notifies you every time I put up a new video instead of just me popping up on your subscriptions. So yeah, feel free to press that, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.